It's our Going Green feature, and we're talking about roadkill research and the mitigation project. In the studio with us is Dr. Harriet Davies-Morstert, who's the Head of Science and Research at the Endangered Wildlife Trust. My name's Zaki Anastasio. I'm in for Jenny Chris Williams this afternoon. And Harriet, this research that was being conducted in Limpopo, we touched very briefly on it. Just tell us about the research and how they go about collating all this information. I know that you've got Wendy Collison, who's the researcher on this project. She's been driving, I don't know, thousands of kilometers. How long has this been going on for?
Yeah, it's Wendy likes to call it 40 days and nights in the wilderness, because it's a serious amount of work she's been putting into this. The project started, and we realized early on that there wasn't any standard way and kind of collect data on roadkill. So the first step in the project was to do a pilot study and to go out and drive a few transects and try and see, are there certain times of day when it's best to be looking for roadkill? Is it early in the morning? Is it late in the afternoon? Is it midday? And then how fast should you be going to actually be good at detecting the roadkill? Because obviously if you're speeding by at 150 k's an hour, you're not going to be seeing things. And so Wendy did, it was quite, I think, soul-destroying, because she basically did an experiment where she created a lot of fake roadkill and then had a volunteer help her to lay it out on the road, and then she used that to test how fast she should be driving and what the direction should be, and are there better times of day. And she found that it's not good to go out early in the morning because the sun can be in your eyes. It's not good late in the afternoon as well for the same reason. So any time from about an hour after sunrise to an hour before sunrise, she was heading out, and she found that the optimum speed is about 40 to 50 kilometers an hour. It was quite interesting that she was, I think, she's got a really good search image, so she was able to, at about 80 or 90 kilometers an hour, still have a very good, over 90% success rate of picking up these fake roadkills. So she decided, though, that 40 to 50 would be good. The idea is to do a standardized protocol so that other people could go out and implement that elsewhere in other areas that we thought would be important for roadkill. And once she'd done that, she then started on the sort of main body of the project, which was to look at what factors influence roadkill. And that involved doing these transects. They're 100 kilometers long, and she did them for 40 days.
This is in Limpopo?
In Limpopo. Every morning she heads out at, just an hour after sunrise, and she drives 100 k's, driving at 40 to 50 kilometers an hour, and she did them for 40 days. And she also did some late in the early evening, just to see if there was a difference in what she was detecting. And
obviously along different routes, obviously.
No, there was one set route, because one of the very important things that we're interested in is how much of the roadkill gets scavenged or removed from the road. Because obviously if you're finding that 80% of the roadkill is getting removed in 24 hours, you're going to have to correct your rates of roadkill that you find upwards to account for the that removal. And we know in that part of the world there's lots of wildlife. There's scavengers, birds of prey, there's jackals and things like that would very likely come and pull things off the road, and then you wouldn't be able to detect them. But we also suspect that people remove roadkill from the roads, and it very much depends what's being hit. But certainly, I think there's a lot of people in northern Limpopo that if they hit a warthog, would stop and actually put it in the boot. And that's something that part of Wendy's project is trying to find out, is there a use for roadkill, and what is the sort of social and cultural connection to roadkill, the supply of meat or muti and that kind of thing.
Oh, muti, that's an interesting one. So 40 days, 100 kilometers a day along the same route. What did she find?
She went slightly mad after by the end of it. But no, she found some very interesting things. I mean, there were, during the first transect, there were over 470 roadkills that she was able to pick up. Those are not counting the ones that she had, that had been removed before she got there. But a huge variety of species. Over 150 species had been hit by cars. And some of them are more vulnerable than others. Things like guinea fowl. There were 46 guinea fowl that would hit, and that makes sense. They're flocking birds, and so you might hit more than one or two at a time. But some concerning things. Spotted hyena were hit on the road, brown hyena. These are large carnivores which have slow reproductive rates, and are susceptible to mortality. So things like scrub hares. It was quite interesting. She picked up 27 scrub hares, and then went and found out that it's actually scrub hare mating season at that time of the year, and most of these scrub hares were males that were being hit by cars, probably going in search of females. And so it's very important to think about the species biology when you're doing this kind of work, and you know how that makes some species more susceptible than others. It could be seasonal, but it also could be different times of day and that kind of thing.
What was the rarest animal that was knocked?
Well, I think I'm not sure entirely. There were a number, as I've mentioned before. African wild dogs have been hit in that section of the road, and they're very rare.
Endangered,
and they're endangered. But
Well, we have a look there so long, and we're joined on the line by JJ, who's a truck driver. Hello, JJ.
Okay, how's it?
How you doing, my man?
All right, and you?
I'm fine. You drive one of those big Pantechnicons, do you?
No, I drive a big fridge.
Oh, okay. All right.
And it hasn't got any beer in it.
Oh, no. So which routes do you drive along, JJ?
I do Springs, PE, George, and George Beaufort West, and back to Springs again.
As well, is the ones you came across as well, jackal, porcupine,
absolutely,
guinea fowls and owls as well, he mentioned. Freddie's in Midrand. Freddie, we're going to get you a call in just a moment. We're approaching news time. We're talking about roadkill. Share your experiences with us. And I also would like to find out, what do you do if you knock an animal over and the animal is still alive? Do you pick the animal up? Do you take it to a vet? What does one do in a situation like that? Your calls welcome on 8830-702. SMS us at 31702. We'll get through all of that right after the news and traffic. And stay with us because we're going to go through some of the stats and what you can do to make a difference. And Camilla Buff, good afternoon to you. What's happening in the news? It's 2:30.
Thanks, Aki. Good afternoon. Staff at the Moot Police Station in Pretoria.
Yeah, some of your SMSs coming through talking about roadkill, a route between Springs and Port Elizabeth, jackal, owl, tortoise, mere. Says another one. Yaku says even an owl and snakes, he says. He comes across many of them that have been knocked down. Freddie's in Midrand. You've been holding for a while there, Freddie, so thanks for holding on. How are you doing, Freddie?
I'm on top of the world, Aki, and hello to your guest as well.
Yes.
Yes, Aki, I'm in Midrand. All that I want to do is that I want to appeal to the drivers around. There's a little bird which is quite common. Let me say it used to be quite common around here, Midrand Blue Hills area. It's called a crown plover. And this little bird, it doesn't really like to be in the long grass, so it likes to be in the open. So quite a number of times you'll see as soon as they land on the road, you find drivers like a guy like in front, they will literally race so that they can go and run them down. Oh. It's heartbreaking again, and I really would like to appeal because this you give it another year or two, this bird will actually be extinct in this area. So my appeal will be, let the guys, let us try and be sensitive and realize that we are not the only ones that that have got the right to live in this world. You know what I mean?
Freddie, that's a beautiful call. Thanks for your call, my friend.
Thanks, bud, and all the best, hey?
Much obliged. Thank you. And Errol in Santon, good afternoon.
Aki, how are you doing?
Yeah, good, thank you.
I just want to compliment the big truck haulers, the ones who know, the ones with incredible manners and road skills, and then the ones that haven't got, that are really bad manners. I travel all over the country delivering motor vehicles, so there's a mix of both of them, but in general, the guys are great, but they travel on the back roads like to J Bay, to East London. They take the roads through Gerib, which I don't understand. They're very narrow roads, and the trucks have destroyed the roads there. And there's a lot of roadkill that you can see. They got no chance, especially with the trucks and that. And then at night, you can't go on those roads in a motor car anymore. So I just want to, someone can tell me why they do use those roads, and they're not delivering stuff just in the area. They're using the road as a shortcut, and there's no toll roads that they're actually missing around Colesberg and that area. So that's my only question there. But in general, I compliment these guys. They're unbelievable, the way they move over and, signal you when you can overtake and everything like that.
Errol, before you go, what kind of roadkill have you seen?
Same as what he's saying. And, coming back now from Port Elizabeth yesterday, and driving down on Thursday, early hours of the morning up to Bloem and then waiting till it was daylight to ride that area. it looks like they partridges or hares, porcupines, when you look at them from driving past. But, he obviously knows what they are. And the crows do. They circle. You can see in the distance that there's roadkill because you can see them flocking to pick up the pieces.
Thanks for the call, Errol.
All right then, Aki. Thank you.
Bye-bye.